Massachusetts Attorney General Martha Coakley jumped into the race for governor last Monday with a visit to Morin's Diner. There, she greeted many of the restaurant patrons as well as her supporters. A brief press conference was held after her visit where she answered questions regarding her previous senatorial race against Scott Brown, as well as what she has to offer the people of Attleboro. AACS was at the event to catch some of her remarks.
Already I've heard a lot of folks who are optimistic about what's happened in the economy, but also understanding that we still have a lot of work to do.
What are you offering Attleboro this time around that's going to change their minds?
Well, actually, that's what this campaign is all about, me getting around the state, particularly in this region, to look at what the interest is for folks here. What are their concerns around the economy and education? And part of this campaign is also going to be me understanding what we can do better, making sure that people have opportunity for educational opportunities to compete. I know, having grown up in Berkshire County, that parts of the state outside Boston that don't get the same perhaps exposure and resources suffer more when the economy is tough. That's happened. We've seen it in terms of the mortgage foreclosure issues. We've seen it in terms of businesses. I'm really interested in making sure we work with everybody in Attleboro in this region on the schools issue, on the manufacturing issues, on how we get a better environment for business and jobs.
How do you convince them that a Steve Grossman or a Charlie Baker, who's got that management professional experience behind them, might not be a better choice than you would, who has a prosecutorial background?
Well, look, I've done, and I'm working on a campaign that is about being governor, about moving the state ahead, connecting the dots on things that need to be done, on the problem solving. And it's not just a management issue. It is about understanding how environments work and grow, and how do we work with elected officials and the for-profit and the not-for-profit on the problems that we face. So I've had that experience. I've done that as Attorney General, bringing together folks to say, how do we keep energy costs down? How do we keep healthcare costs down? How do we make sure that businesses here, large and small, are going to be able to thrive in an environment that government can help create, but can only create with everybody at the table? That's really what the next governor has to do. That's what I've done, and more importantly, that's what I'll do as Attorney General.
General, what did you learn from your last disastrous campaign, and what are you doing differently this time around?
My biggest regret in that was the perception people had during that race, that somehow I didn't work very hard or that I didn't care. And so I've learned that, and I think in getting right back to work after that, in getting right back to running for Attorney General again. I was back out on the street getting signatures from people who said to me, I voted for Scott Brown, but you're a good Attorney General, so I'll sign your nomination papers. I know that in that race, and I know now, that I have to earn the respect of every voter in Massachusetts. I'm working, starting out with this campaign today and every day to the primary, to make sure that I talk to voters about their concerns and fears. This is about moving forward. This is about who's going to be the best to lead Massachusetts, both on the economy, on jobs, on getting, modernizing our education, making sure our kids don't go through a 19th century schedule where they get out of school in time for planting and they go back to school after the harvest. We need to and can in Massachusetts bring together the for-profit, the not-for-profit, the elected officials, our mayors, and all over Massachusetts to say, how do we keep moving forward? That's what I've been focused on. It's what I'm going to talk about during this campaign, and mostly I'm going to listen.
Funding for special needs, how are you going to target that issue? I know that's a lot of times the first thing to get cut.
I am very focused on making sure we have a balanced approach and that we protect our most vulnerable special needs kids in terms of bullying issues and all the things we've seen in terms of public safety. An interest of mine, I'm going to look at that budget from top to bottom and make sure that we reach the needs of all of those.
The bullying issue, I know a lot of commonwealths don't have their own documented status on bullying. What are you going to do about making sure Massachusetts leads the way in the bullying, whether it be in schools or in the senior population?
Well, I think we have a very strong statute on that in the schools, and we've made some recommendations around strengthening that to get better data. It's an interest of mine. I'm going to continue to stay interested in it.
Are you tougher on crime?
My job has been to be tougher on crime, and I have a background, I think, as a DA and as an Attorney General. My job as governor, I think, will be to lead the state and make sure that we are fair to everybody, that we're accountable, But I certainly bring to the governor's job, I think, an understanding about how we can do better preventing crime and how we can do better holding people accountable. I intend to do that. That's what I've worked in, but I also will take a lead from what this governor has done in terms of investments in infrastructure and education and the important things we need to do in the state.
Will you take a lead from him on dealing with illegal immigration and criminal issues related to that group?
I think that I have set a record myself in terms of district attorney and attorney general. Serving the people of Massachusetts. This is really about what we're going to need in 2014 moving forward. And that includes all of those issues. Turning the economy around, giving everybody a chance, making sure that we have the educational opportunities that we should in 2014, and making sure that we address all of those issues around keeping kids in school, making sure that kids stay out of trouble. I've got some experience with that, and I look forward to dealing with that and so much else that a governor has to do at this critical time.